Hello and welcome everybody. It is Tuesday, the 11th of November. It is the Grain Blast, where myself and the goddess of grain herself, Mrs. Angie Setzer, will be providing you with a rapid roundup of the latest pricing flows and market moving news in agricultural markets. But before we get underway, I will say, I'll get legals out of the way. Nothing discussed on this podcast is trading or investment advice. Nothing infers any kind of endorsement, yada, yada, yada. You know the score by now. But now, further ado, Angie, how are you?
No, okay. I couldn't unmute myself. I was trying to multitask and
And then you
went
started panicking.
horribly. Yeah, because I was like, oh God, the legals are over already, and I'm not prepared. No, I have a meeting directly after this, and I'm trying to find the Teams invite, which you've got to love because I hate Teams.
Oh God. Oh my God. I hate Teams so much. And people think I'm weird when I say that. Google Meets is just far simpler.
That's Google Meets is cool. I'm a Zoom girl. I can't help it. Like I was Zoom though before COVID.
So before it was cool.
Yeah, I should have bought stock in it, I guess, at some point, but I don't know. Anyway, no one cares about that thingy. So, welcome. It is definitely happy Tuesday. I missed you yesterday.
Yeah, apologies for that, everyone. That was all on me. No show yesterday.
No, it's fine. It was nice. I welcome it, but you know me. I am an introvert. You can always cancel plans with me and never feel bad about it. But anywho, market wise, we're flying blind and people are starting to get hysterical. That is the summary of commodities right now. And I think potentially even your outside markets, like we saw some of that at the end of last week where everyone's like, oh my God, this jobs number. Is it accurate? Is it not? Like, I don't know. You guys can debate that as much as you want or whatever. But what we're seeing now is it's kind of like we haven't seen export sales figures. And so everyone's just free to kind of make up their own sort of narrative.
Yeah.
And some of these other things, like we're just starting, like I said, it feels to get hysterical and we're allowed to come up with these sort of scenarios anymore because we're lacking the grounding that comes from data, I guess. And so, that's where we're simply at currently. Like we didn't get the October update, obviously, on the yield side of things. So now we're coming into Friday and Friday's numbers. And I'm perplexed. We did get the update this morning. I'm going to find it for you guys real quick. Like right? The trade estimates for the report on Friday. We got that this morning, and basically and I get it, but yield was left at 184. Folks have their corn production number at 16.6 billion. Soybean yield was left at 53.1. Folks have their overall production at like 4.266. You have some people that bumped up soybean yields. You have others that kept, kind of kept. The USDA was 186.7. So they did slightly trim, but like StoneX at their 186 or whatever, like you've got a lot of folks out there pretty much steady across the board, where it's 185, 185, 184, 185. I don't get it, but I also have to recognize that it's market sentiment or it's the expectation going into the number and that I, will make $0 trying to fight it, right? Like it's just one of those things that I guess it kind of tells you what could potentially happen. But, I've been doing this for 21 years. This was my 21st harvest. And I will tell you by far, there is nothing in the cash market this harvest that tells me that we produced, a record crop plus whatever. Like last year, corn production as a whole was let me find it there, under 15 billion. So 24-25 corn production was 14.867 billion bushels of overall production. There are people right now that are saying that the corn crop was 2 billion bushels larger, which math is not my strong suit, but that's right? Like 14.8 billion last year and 16.8 billion this year, and then we have 4.3 billion as the soybean production number compared to, which it's a bit lower. We were 4.366 billion a year ago because of the difference in acres. But I've been trading cash grain for an exceptional period of time, longer than I want to admit anymore. A young person. And I can say that there is nothing that took place in the cash market this year that points towards us putting away 2 billion additional bushels of corn with ease. And so I struggle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
we're saying that we had the same amount of soybeans, so we're not bastardizing soybean space. You can't, like, we may have misplaced cotton acres for bean acres or whatever, but like you aren't going to use cotton storage for soybeans. You can't. Like it's so you have to find a home for this stuff. And so that's the part that just has me a little confused, is because we saw such a big snap in basis, and we're still seeing it, on the corn side of things. Like right now for me next week, I can trade even the December basis into the local ethanol plant. That's a 45-cent improvement for harvest delivery, since the start of harvest till now. I haven't traded one bushel at a posted harvest bid. Like last year, you had to scramble. I was trading corn ahead of harvest in order to be able to guarantee that I had space. Like, and this isn't just Michigan. I also trade bushels in the Dakotas and Indiana, parts of Nebraska. Like, it's just odd to me, but we'll see. We got to get Friday's number. And so that's the focus right now. And part of why you saw the market kind of, be a little blah.
Right.
Overall, beans tried to test 10 lower as we opened the morning open here. Corn was under pressure, and some of these other things. Because, yeah, I mean, if you look at carryout expectations using these production numbers, we have absolutely nothing to worry about. We have plentiful stocks, and it's actually worrisome because most folks think we'll lose some demand and yada, yada, yada. Like one private group basically is saying that they think corn carryout goes up a 500 million bushel in the next couple of reports, which I just don't see it. Cash doesn't say it. So we'll see. We'll see, what is happening and where it's at. But I do believe, I have been told by what is a super good source, at the very least, it's clear to me that we will get flash export sales back on Friday. I think we may be getting the export sales report back Thursday morning. Now,
Oh,
how that's coming out, how that whatever, I have no idea. And I don't really don't bet on it, don't count on it yet, because I can't get confirmation from the person that actually would know, because, loose lips sink ships and
yeah.
no one's getting fired over this shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to press it, but, I'm hoping we'll have some clarity and know a bit better, because it would be really nice to get the information on what has been sold over the last 6 weeks, ahead of Friday's numbers, Friday's WASDE, because obviously they're going to use that data to come up with their new balance sheet figures. And so, like, if we've been selling corn like hell, wouldn't have it, you know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and have, basically taken most end users out of the market over the next whatever time. Like, we don't really know that. Like, and so that'll be the thing that we'll be seeing and watching really closely. And hopefully I'll have a better answer for you tomorrow. Flipping over, obviously, we still have the debate over what China is or isn't going to do.
Yeah.
There's a big headline this morning that China had a trade meeting, like a trade festival last week. And so there was a headline that came through this morning that COFCO had signed this big major deal with Brazil. And I think that was part of why you saw the bean market under pressure to start, is like headline risk in that. Or if you
Yeah.
read the headline, you're like, oh no, that's so
Yeah.
bad. But if you use common sense, right? Brazil is going to supply China with its three-quarters of the soybeans that they import. They're going to have trade deals. Like, they're
Yeah.
going to
Right.
have these things.
it'd be
So let's
it'd be more concerning if there wasn't.
yeah, like I mean, like they did sign something with the US delegation. We don't know what. Like, most folks are saying it was an agreement to get to that 12 million. But again, like I said, we haven't had an export sales report in so long. We're all just losing our mind. Like, a lot of people yesterday was like, well, China wasn't on the export sales number. Shows you that the trade deal is bunk. And it's like, girlfriend, like, this was the first week post agreement, first off. Like, secondly, like, how do you think cash grain works? Like, do you not listen when I say it
Yeah.
loses? It doesn't, like, you don't snap your fingers, you don't flip a switch and load a boat for China. Like, you have a schedule that is at least 10 days, if not 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. Like, if you look at the PNW right now, they're basically booked through January. Like, you only have so much logistical capacity. And so that's the one thing too. Like, you have a lot of people speaking very loudly about physical grain movement that have never actually traded physical grain. That's not a slight. That's just, take it with a grain of salt on some of these things for now, especially considering China has pretty hefty stock levels at their ports. Like, they've been buying the hell out of Brazil beans because Brazil's crop was freaking massive and it has a long tail. And so you're not really going to see China trip all over themselves right now to buy expensive beans on the front end, let alone ship them. They
Right.
have until the end of the year to buy 12 million metric ton, and that just might mean that they ship what's 12 divided by 8. They could ship that many metric tons a month next year throughout the whole entire crop season, not really make a lot of waves in the cash market. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
be like, yeah, we need 1.5 million metric ton a month. Like we'll get there. Like it's not anyway. So we'll see. We'll watch that. We did see their reserve auction of corn last night had 100% clearance, and that's about 100% higher than the clearance rates we saw this summer, which is big. And I'm not good at percentages, so do your own math. But we'll be watching. There are a lot of issues popping up in the cash market. We've seen that firm. The Dalian corn market has firmed pretty substantially here. We've at least kind of reinforced the floor, and more people are kind of talking about, quality is not great in Henan and Shandong, and we may have some issues here. So we'll be watching. But the China group, whatever I forget what their acronym is, but they released an update yesterday, and basically they're just kind of like, yeah, we're phoning it in. It's like last month with some tiny adjustments. You know what I mean? Like, we're not going to import anything. We have the largest corn crop ever. And yeah, like China things. That was basically the gist. Like, exactly that. You don't even have to look it up. I just gave it to you. And so, yeah, I mean, we'll see. Export inspections were decent. Beans still kind of blah without the China demand, like we talked. But a friend of mine, Dale Dirkholtz, put out this morning, if you break it down, non-China business versus China business or whatever, over the first 2 months, I'm going to just repeat his thing because it's smart. Over the first 2 months of the soybean marketing year, exports to non-Chinese destinations have averaged 180 million bushels over the 5-year average prior. Like basically at this point, we typically ship around 180 million bushels to non-China destinations.
Right.
This time of year, we've shipped over 280 million. And so we are seeing that non-China demand. And so that's where I'm at with it. Like I like this sort of slower pace to shipments and some of these other things, because it keeps us open to ship to these other customers. It
Right.
keeping us getting too expensive. Then long term it's positive. So yeah. We have 2.5 more. Well, trading day today, tomorrow, Thursday, and then we have noon on Friday. We'll get the report. So you'll get to hear the same narrative for about the rest of the week.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Angie,
Sorry,
thank.
a lot. I didn't even breathe.
Well, to be honest, I'm still here taking notes. But Angie, thank you so much as always. Again, apologies for me not being around yesterday, but listeners, thank you so much as always. We really, really do appreciate you. And given that it's Armistice Day, Veterans Day, Remembrance Day today, a special shout out to everyone that has served or is serving, especially those that we take a moment to think about those that gave the ultimate sacrifice, because we really do appreciate every one of you. But on that note, pardon, sorry?
I said 100%. I'm echoing your sentiment.
Awesome. But yeah, that's it from us for now. Tune in tomorrow where I promise I'll be back. Yeah, have a good one. Keep it tight, stay safe, and much love.
Have a good one, guys.